Or in this country, you have the right to be an asshole, and everybody has the right to call you one. Now, we're not calling this woman an asshole, but those were his words. What it do, YouTube? I'm Ricky, and I'm Ricardo, and we are not twins. That is me, and today we are going to do something a bit different. We are going to respond to someone else's video, and it concerns the untimely and tragic death of NBA legend Kobe Bryant. Now, I don't think it could be argued that Kobe Bryant was the greatest basketball player of this generation. A generation that never saw the likes of Michael Jordan play live, that never saw Magic Johnson, Charles Barkley, Shaquille O'Neal. Now, me and Kobe were born in the same year, so I've literally spent my entire adult life watching this guy play. Now, a vast majority of us has never met this man in person. All we know of him is what the media has told us on and off the court. And for a lot of us, that was enough to inspire, motivate, and be entertained. However, there are a few people who he did not inspire or motivate. There are a few people who just did not like him for whatever reason. One of those such people is the subject of our conversation today, a YouTuber by the name of Kai Element. Now, if I'm pronouncing that name wrong, please forgive me. Now, I've seen a lot of deaths in my time, friends and family, from strokes to breast cancer to heart attacks to murder. And one thing I've learned in all of that is you can't tell somebody how to mourn. Everybody has their own way of dealing with death. Well, what makes this YouTuber unique? Well, Kai Element, and again, if I'm pronouncing that wrong, I'm sorry, posted a video called "We're Not Mourning the Deaths of Non-Allies Like Kobe Bryant." Of course, like everybody else, I was inclined to give a written response. Now, the comments on that video has since been disabled because they got kind of nasty and flat out hurtful. And most of it was because the tabloids have won. Okay, in this day and age, people see a picture, they see a headline, and immediately form their own opinion and respond without watching the full video or reading the full article. While some respectfully criticize this woman's logic and opinion, many others attack the woman herself. And let me tell you, that there was no place for that. Okay, there was absolutely no need to insult the woman's looks, what her kids may look like, how they may behave, what her significant other may look like, her sexuality. There was no place for that, and it was totally unnecessary. So if you're looking for me to do that here, you're not going to find it. I refuse to do personal attacks, okay? That keyboard warrior don't work, okay? Now, we watched this video in its entirety, and it's about 11 and a half minutes, so we're going to hit some of the highlights that I wanted to respond to. Now, in the best interest of not appearing to take things out of context, I'm going to put a link to her original video in the description below. You really need to go and watch it. Other than me, is there anything you want to address before we get started? I'm going to give you an antidote. You have the floor. Okay. My dad, before his passing, has taught me a lot of things. But the top four is: one, if you have to live off a credit card, take a notch down in lifestyle. Two, anybody that tells you that they never told a lie, just told their second one. And don't let a man continuously fish for you. Eventually, you need to learn how to fish. And four, in this country, you have the right to be an asshole, and everybody has the right to call you one. Now, we're not calling this woman an asshole, but those were his words. Criticize the message, not the messenger. She has every right to her opinion, be it the living, the dead, or all points in between. And I'm pretty sure you're going to disagree with what she's saying. But so long as you don't attack her right to say it, we won't have a problem. But at the same time, just as she has a right to voice her opinion on a public platform, we have a right to respond to it. Fair enough. Let's hit it.
And so, it's interesting because I do see a lot of black women who are, again, with this like faux sympathy. Like, it's just so easy to get black women emotionally worked up over stuff.
Okay, first pause. Up until this point, I was wondering who we are. So apparently she's speaking of black women and their faux sympathy. A person doesn't know what impact the dead has had on another person when it comes time to grieve. You can't take someone in bereavement and then tell them, I'm choosing not to grieve this person for these reasons, and you shouldn't grieve them either for the same reasons. So if you choose to grieve, that grief is fake. You can't do that. Okay, moving on.
This or that, and I'm just thinking, like, he really didn't give a about black women.
Alright, I'm pretty sure she's gonna grant some explanation to this, but just Google Roxanne Jones. Okay, she was one of the original editors of ESPN the magazine, and she was vice president of ESPN. By her own admission, Kobe helped jumpstart her career. And then there's his contributions to the WNBA, which is 70% black.
Like I said, to tap into the emotions of so-called black American women in particular.
So-called black women. That wasn't insulting at all. And for the record, grown-ass men were crying on live TV over Kobe's death.
That I've been saying, things are going to escalate, things are going to get worse. Nobody is exempt from just the vengeance that the Dark Mother in particular brings upon people.
Admittedly, I don't know much about the Dark Mother, but a Google search tends to lean towards magic and witchcraft, but I'm pretty sure that's not what it is. The name apparently has African origins and was probably an African goddess and may be considered the mother of all creation. There are books written on the Dark Mother, and it gets pretty deep, so that may lay some foundation to this woman's logic.
It's interesting how people are quick to mourn celebrities just based on the fact that they're on national television or international television. And it's like nobody really looks at the things that the people do. It's just all like, oh, this person was a celebrity and, they dribbled a ball well. So, I feel so bad about, just what happened and yada, yada, yada.
False. Kobe Bryant has contributed to many institutions, has his own foundation, and created many, many opportunities for impoverished and inner city youth. The man just won a Oscar. So people are not mourning him just because he can dribble a basketball good.
I wanted to stress was because this is the stuff that people don't think about. This is the stuff that people want to sweep under the rug. People like sweeping under the rug, especially in the United States of America.
She's going to go to Colorado. She's going to go to Colorado.
This man was accused of rape back in 2003.
And there it is. Look, I can't speak for the man's guilt or innocence because in this day and age, you get crucified just for being accused. All I know is after some evidence came to light, the accusers stopped cooperating and the case was dropped and they settled out of court. At this point, it appears that she's taking the one bad year this man had and are throwing away the 19 good ones. And I could go into the whole he who was without sin and end it there, but I'm not. We're going to move on.
And of course, these celebrities have enough money to pay people off and, to get stuff taken off their records and whatever else and all this type of stuff. But the whole point is that happened. And, but if you have money, you can, let's just sweep it under the rug. And if you're a celebrity, they dribble the ball well. So what else, whatever other things they do, we don't give right?
Wrong again. Billy Bates robbed a gas station. Basketball and money didn't save him. Mookie Blaylock went to prison, I think, for manslaughter. Tom Paine went to prison for rape back in the 70s. He's still in prison. Javaris Creighton, remember that nonsense with Gilbert Arenas? He's doing 2 dimes in prison. And Fast Eddie Johnson, he's doing all day and a night. Money and basketball didn't save them.
The spiritual and the natural aspect of it, he did not understand the first law of nature, which is the law of self-preservation.
She just accused this man of using his money and celebrity status to get away with rape and having over 100 affairs. Yet he doesn't understand and adhere to the law of self-preservation, which is basically survive by any means necessary. That's why you don't corner a rabid animal. I mean, I would think that a person who, according to this woman, beat a rape case and paid off the accuser, I think somebody like that would have a pretty good understanding of self-preservation.
And we can see that by looking at his family. I wouldn't really say he was an ally of indigenous women, of so-called black women in particular.
AKA, he married a half Mexican, half Irish woman in Vanessa. So now I'm going to assume this law of self-preservation refers to the writings of the Elijah Muhammad of Islam. So if you're a black man and you don't marry a black woman, you are not an ally of black people. Despite the millions upon millions of dollars you have poured into the lives and well-being of black children. But he didn't help adult black women enrich their lives, so the allegiance is lost. Got it.
He was known to make colorist statements. Like he did make a statement to one athlete where he was like, you go to the hole like a light-skinned dude or whatever. kind of like a mocking type of thing. So that's quite interesting, especially being that, well, you're with a light-skinned, woman or whatever. So why are you making cracks and jokes about light-skinned guys?
That player was Jordan Clarkston, and he played with Kobe for the Lakers. And moments after Kobe gave him that statement, Jordan laid down a posterizing dunk. Now, I don't have the clip of that dunk, but I think it was against the Suns. And while it was probably in poor judgment for Jordan to mention that, and I'm not excusing Kobe for saying it, but if Kobe saying that is an issue, it will blow your mind the level of trash Michael Jordan talk. Okay, she goes on to talk more about feminist energy and the Dark Mother, which shows that a lot of her viewpoint is rooted deeply in feminism with this very interesting tidbit.
And so you're going to see a lot of crazy, disturbing, vile things being put out in the open for everyone to see, because it has to.
And her video shows plenty of that. And then there's this.
The Dark Mother is not looking at, and this is, the name that I've given it, that certain, other people have given it. Some people may call it something else. Some people may call it Kali, whatever.
Kalima. So we've gone from Islam to Hindu.
This Dark Mother aspect, she's not looking at, how much money you have, how much fame you have, things of that nature, how many television stations you've been on. She's not looking at that, how are you treating other people? How are you treating women? How are you, treating children?
I don't know, by giving inspiration, motivation, help bring the WNBA into the limelight, gave millions to help children through basketball. I'm just spitballing here. And we're talking about a guy who didn't spend a single day in college. Okay, she goes back to Islam and the law of preservation, and then sweet baby Jesus, she said this.
So he cut his life short. And whatever way in which his life was cut short in the mundane world is whatever way it was. But his life was already cut short spiritually a long time ago.
Oh my God. Other me, correct me if I'm wrong, but did she just say he deserved to die and he was spiritually dead a long time ago? That's exactly what it sounds like she said. Like, I'm really trying to see it her way, and then she said this.
That type of energy will extend to your offspring. So you got to be careful how you carry yourself, what you do, because that will extend to your offspring. And we saw that happen in this case.
So he's responsible for his daughter dying. All right, let's keep going. I mean, seriously, is she going to explain to the family of the other victims that Kobe's negative spiritual energy is the reason they're dead? I'd love to see the outcome of the video on that.
Women, you all need to preserve your empathy and sympathy for people who are worth it, for people who matter. Stop falling for all this stuff on television that you're seeing. Stop falling for people based on how much money they have, how much fame they have, and then bitching and complaining when you end up getting abused and whatever because you decided to fall for some for a mundane reason.
So let's tell the hundreds, if not thousands, of families that Kobe personally touched by way of his contributions that they should save their sympathies for people that matter. I would love to know who these people are. So, there's no telling how many people wouldn't be in the league today if it wasn't for him. There's no telling how many kids would have fallen victim to the streets if it wasn't for him. There are a lot of young girls and women who have made breakthroughs in basketball because of him. But this woman is making it sound like Kobe was the scourge of the earth because he didn't marry a black woman. I mean, I'm not kissing the man's ass here. I mean, he's had some notable transgressions, and I'm trying hard not to knock the black feminist. But clearly, is making this woman feel some kind of way. And to attack this man like this less than 24 hours after his death, I mean, that's disgusting. Other me, do you have anything else before we wrap this up? Nope, I said what I said. I cannot support the content in that video, but I will forever support her right to say it. Now at this point, YouTube, I would normally say, what say you, YouTube? But not today. I'm pretty sure it's going to be some vitriol on one black YouTuber attacking another or further hate towards that woman for posting her opinion. Despite what it sounds like, that was not the purpose of this video. I'm not trying to invoke some kind of psych war. As God and the universe has proven, life is too short for that kind of negativity. The purpose of this video, as other me has said, is you have a right to your opinion, and people have a right to respond to it with opinions of their own, as I have. That's why I format my videos in this fashion, to show two opposing views of us on the subject. Now, which one of those views is my true view? I'll leave that mystery up to you. So while I don't agree with her opinion, I respect and support her right to voice it. But there's a time and place for that. I mean, that's why I waited a couple of days before posting this. Putting something out there like that while the fire was still smoldering on the wreckage is one of the highest levels of disrespect. As if she cares. Now, I've skimmed over a couple of her other videos, and I visited her website, and there are some positive things there. And I really wanted to hit that subscribe button, but I can't support someone that trashed a dead man and his daughter like that. And it all boils down to this being nothing more than clout chasing. And just so you know, at the time of this recording, I have all of 22 subscribers and maybe 100 views across 8 videos. So I'm not making $1 off any of this. Now, if you want to support her cause and her message, by all means, have at it. Because she has the right to her opinion. But she does not have the right to tell someone how to mourn the death of someone else based on her personal standards of bereavement. Especially if she's following such a negative narrative that completely pisses all over that person and those who choose to mourn him and the other souls who was lost in that tragedy. And I've challenged myself. Have you? Over and out.